In this episode, we are looking at reading for meaning, comprehension, from our Smart Start, page 22, October 14th. Hello, boys and girls. This week, we continue our focus on areas that enable understanding and enjoyment of reading materials. Identifying the main idea of texts provides understanding of the entire text. When you can identify the main idea, the text becomes more meaningful and you can predict outcomes in a story with more accuracy. Skimming and scanning to find the main idea is important when you are doing a timed exam with passages from which you have to answer questions. Here are the objectives. Students will skim, scan, and apply other reading strategies to locate main ideas. Summarize the main findings in a text. Activity. Number 1. Engage. Watch the video on YouTube, IELTS Skills, How to Skim and Scan, or follow the guidelines below to skim the passage that follows. Guidelines for skimming. Once you know where the reading is headed, you can begin to read only the first sentence of each paragraph. Also called topic sentences, they give you the main idea of the paragraph. If you do not get the main idea in the topic sentence, or if the paragraph greatly interests you, then you may want to skim more. At the end of each topic sentence, your eyes should drop down to the rest of the paragraph looking for important pieces of information such as names, dates, or events. Continue to read only topic sentences, dropping down to the rest of the paragraph until you are near the end. Since the last few paragraphs may contain a conclusion or summary, you should stop skimming there and read in detail. Remember that your overall comprehension will be lower than if you read in detail. If while skimming you feel that you are grasping the main ideas, then you are skimming correctly. So here we have a passage, the formation of trade unions and political parties after 1938. So let's see if we can follow this. We're going to look at the first sentence, which says, when the 1938 riots ended, the workers and their leaders were allowed to form trade unions. Let me look at the last two sentences. The Bustamante Industrial Trade Union began in 1938 and was the first trade union formed as a result of these riots. It grew out of the Jamaica Workers and Tradesmen Union, which started in 1936. Next paragraph. The leaders who had helped the workers during the riots also formed political parties and the workers joined them. Last two sentences of this one says the leader was Norman Manley. Let's go back up then. The first political party formed was the People's National Party in 1938. The leader was Norman Manley. The JLP was formed in 1943. Alexander Bustamante. They believed in their own government, more interested in looking after the poor. All right, so we just did a little skimming there. Let's look at the activity. What is the main idea of the passage? That is, what is the passage about? So the passage would be about the formation of trade unions after 1938. It says, did the title of the passage help you to identify the theme? Yes, it did. Were you able to find the main ideas in the first sentences of the paragraphs? Yes. Did the topic sentences help you to find the main idea? Yes. How did the concluding sentences relate to the main idea? Kind of gave a summary of what the passage was about and, gave us good details there. Were you able to find important names and dates as you skimmed through? Yes, we were able to see some of the people who were important to the formation of these unions and political parties. Were you able to identify important names and dates as you skimmed through that pointed you to the main ideas? Yes. Do you agree that the main idea of the first paragraph is that the riots of 1938 led to the formation of trade unions? Yes. Do you agree that the main idea of the second paragraph is that political parties were formed by the leaders from the riots of 1938? Yes. The theme of the passage would therefore be the formation of trade unions and political parties. Activity 3. Explain. Skimming allows you to move through the passage very quickly without reading the entire text. Focus on the title and words that stand out to find the main idea. In this way, you get the gist of the theme of the passage. Skimming works best for non-fiction or factual texts, not stories. Skimming also allows you to summarize the main findings in a text. You can write 1 or 2 sentences to summarize the main findings in the paragraph above. Write those 2 sentences on your own now. The main idea appears in the topic sentence, which is usually, note usually, the first sentence of the paragraph, but can be positioned elsewhere in the paragraph. The other sentences are called supporting sentences, which give more details about the topic identified in the main idea. We can use a graphic organizer to show the main idea and supporting details of the first paragraph. Compare the summary sentences that you wrote with these 2 to see if they are similar. After the 1938 riot, the leaders of the workers, Alexander Bustamante and Norman Manley, formed trade unions and political parties. They, along with the workers, believed that it was time for them to govern themselves. Activity 4. Extend. Scanning is used to find specific information in a text. You can look through the text to find a specific word, a date, or phrase, and then read the sentences surrounding that specific word, date, or phrase to find the details that you require. So, scan the passage above to answer these questions. Describe the role of a trade union. Which organization was formed in 1943? And finally, why did the leaders and workers believe it was time for the British to stop ruling? So let's try that. Describe the role of a trade union. So we're going to look for the word trade union. So I'm starting at the top. Riot, a trade union. So see it here. This is the second sentence. A trade union is an organization that protects workers from unfair employers and helps to make sure that the wages and working conditions are fair. So that's the role of the trade union, to protect the workers and to make sure that they get proper wages and fair conditions. So which organization was formed in 1943? So I'm looking for 1943. I'm going down. I see 1938. I see 36. I see 38 again. Yes, 43. So now what do we need to do? We need to look at the sentences that surround this date. So I'm going back up now. The first political party that was formed was in 1938. Okay. Yes. The Jamaica Labour Party was formed in 1943 and was led by Alexander Bustamante. So now I know that it was the JLP that was formed in 1943. All right. So it says British and stop ruling. So let's go now and look for ruling. Yes. So we go down. Yes. British to stop ruling Jamaica. Good. All right. And why? Okay, so here it is. They believe that their government, that's the government of people led by Jamaicans, would be more interested in looking after the 4. So I'm going to leave a link for the video in the description below, the video that was mentioned earlier. Take time to go over that as well. Review this as often as needed so you get these concepts, practice them as well, and I'll see you in the next episode.